Hello, my name is Missy Harrison. I serve as the director of the Lincoln County Library System. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our Creative Aging Watercolor Techniques for Beginners course. This special program is made possible through the generous support of the Lincoln County Library Foundation and the Wyoming Arts Council. I am truly delighted that you are joining us for this creative experience. Our instructor, Judy Gonnett, has been painting and teaching in Wyoming for the past 21 years after relocating with her husband to the Star Valley area.
Keep saying it, everyone.
He teaches classes through Western Wyoming Community College's Act and Outreach program and has also received grant funding to offer creative aging classes as an individual teaching artist. Judy has led workshops and classes in Jackson, Du Bois, Rock Spring, and the Star Valley area. And we are pleased to welcome her back as a valued teaching artist for the Lincoln County Library System's Creative Aging Program. I truly hope you enjoy this class. That's the middle name?
Oh my goodness. Is it?
It's okay. Hi. We're talking to. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back. Last week, I know some people weren't here, so I'm going to show you what we did last week.
You're on black still.
I can see.
That's because I have the video off. Sorry.
I can see.
You can't see.
I'm literally talking to myself.
How's that going?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hang on. Oh, now we have me. Okay. Okay, but all right. Okay, so this is what we did last week. I won't look at that. I'll look at that. This is what we did last week. Negative space painting. Were you here last week? Okay. And there were a couple people that were missing, so they're going to give it a try later. All right. And so the progress of this class has been, I heard someone last week say trees again. The trees are just a way to teach you to paint and teach you techniques in watercolor painting without doing things like this, which is boring. This is not boring. Which would you rather do, this or this? Good answer, class. Okay. So I heard someone saying, oh no, more trees. And I was like, it has been a lot of trees. So there were those trees. That was the first. And then we went into this one. Okay. Learning how to add salt and do texture and make more trees. I feel like it's getting closer and like it's making me seasick. Okay. Then we did wet into wet. Okay. So we did wet into wet. And then the last class, as I said, was the negative space. Negative space is not usually, I mean, this is decorative, right? But the way that negative space is usually used is when you're painting a distant tree line. Give you an example if I can. A distant tree line, and you paint, if you want to create, sorry, I'm looking at it this way. You want to create over that way. You want to create depth in your forest, then you start painting around the trees, and that's how you get depth in the forest. It's used in a lot of other ways too. It's very important in landscape painting. I brought this in to show you that with a painting like this, okay, what we've been learning is that we paint the big space, all the big shapes first, right? And then you come in with the detail work. So this is my initial wash on this little painting. And then the negative space painting is going to be painting around objects.
You that can't see you. And I don't know why. So can you show it together? I'm still trying to work. Is your video up again?
No, it's on. It's just lame out. I don't know what's going on. 'Cause it's pinned.
That's right, I could straighten my hair while you're doing that.
Is it on their end? So.
She's saying on the bottom left, of this video, it's crossed out.
No, I got it. Yes. No, I did. It's Chinese to you. Okay, let me see if that's better.
Well, now I can see me too. Okay. Don't show on,
Now, let me see, I'm sorry.
okay. All right. Everybody's,
Just hold up that loud.
do I have to go through that all over again?
Truck picture.
The what?
The truck.
The truck picture, okay, okay, the truck picture, all right, now I'm holding up like this. Okay, so this is what I've been teaching all along is making the big shapes first and then coming in with the details. And this is my original, this is how I work. I don't work from photographs, so this was done on site of the red truck, right? And now I'm doing a more formal painting of it. So the negative space is going to be used underneath here where I paint around objects. That's just an example of negative space that's used other than in more trees and the tree paintings, okay? All right, that said, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to do two paintings that's complete opposite of negative space. Okay.
Sorry.
I have so many cameras going, I don't know which to look at. All right, so anyway, we're going to be doing these. We're going to learn how to make more trees, these trees right here. All right. And also the glowing skies. Okay. Now, I know some of you have taken classes from me before where we worked on this. And so we're going to be doing it again. And also, in case people, for next week, the next 2 weeks, we're going to be working on one big finished painting. So we're going to practice on a small painting this week, and then next week you get to choose which one you want to do. All right. I'm going to offer you one more option. I'm not sure how I'll teach it, but if you are so tired of white, okay, and want to attempt something a little bit more complicated, this one especially is very easy to do, okay? This one is just a little bit more complicated, but I will be, you know, so anyway, I just wanted to offer that option, just in case, like, the rest of us are tired of white, you know? I mean, it's beautiful, right? White and blue. All right. So that is what we're going to be working on this week and then the next 2 weeks. Also, I want to let you know about my class, the last grant class, Creative Aging, ages 55 and older. It's the sign up starts on Monday. Okay. The class is going to run April 27th through June 15th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Monday. Okay. And the sign up starts on the 13th at the Thane Branch Library. And it is limited to 12 people who can commit to 8 classes. 8 classes, 7 at the, you know, at the most. I mean, 7 at the least. So anyway, this one is an individual teaching artist grant. I applied for the grant and I received it. It's a little bit different than the Zoomed class. It's an in-person class and it's going to be people. So I've been having fun the last week. Excuse me for saying that. Okay, this is my mom and me. Okay, right? I got this far and I thought that says it all right there. I don't really need to say much more for that one, right? And I just have been having a lot of fun with doing people. This is my friend Jolene and me. We're still arguing about when the picture was taken. Okay, because we do this sort of thing a lot in resale stores. My friend Anne, who had knee replacement yesterday, so I've done a couple paintings of her on her bike, and now I'm moving her around so that she can visualize herself all better. Okay, this is her with Bob, and this is part of what I'm going to be teaching is how to move people around so that they are in the right scale, right? This one, I can plainly see that it's the wrong scale because I moved Anne, and so Bob looks too small, right? All right, and then here, anybody can recognize these people? Anybody recognize them? Kathy and Shantae. Now I told Shantae, man, her hair is not easy. Okay, it's not easy. So anyway, this is I think it's going to be a fun class. Yes, we're tracing people. That's not how I work. I sketch people everywhere I go, and then I move them around. This is one of my favorite ones of just a guy on a beach. And for some reason, that song, Old Man, Take a Look at My Shoes, I'm a Lot Like You. I can't remember who was it. What was this? James Taylor, maybe. I can't remember. One of them. So anyway, that's the way I work. And here's an example of how I did a sketch. It can even be on napkins if I'm in the car without something to sketch in the parking lot. And then I move the person around, right? I just use that sketch for a person in a painting. So that's what my class is going to be about for the next 8 weeks when we finish this class. And thank you for letting me say that. I'm not on social media, so I don't have really any way to advertise that class. It's up at the senior center. So today we're going to start with this. We're going to, if you can put it down here now. Get it off me. We changed to Allison. Okay. Allison, there's a square in the middle of my thing. If I hit the button that says don't show the sea, I'm so afraid to touch anything.
We supposed to tape it off today?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Supposed to tape it off today?
Yes, we're gonna try and do 2 paintings at once again. Okay, so yes, a piece of tape through the middle, please. Oh. Or you can just draw 2 lines too. I mean, that's just as easy. Sorry, you guys. I also have a different palette that I'm working with today. We've had some complaints about the paint, the Marie's paint, not being able to be reconstituted. When you keep it wet and you keep it in a sealed palette for when you go home with your paints, I would recommend that you get a palette like this that more or less seals, because all my paints are still very workable, whereas the ones in the open palette are drying really fast. Thank you. All right, so you're going to tape off your page like this. Okay. And there's not going to be any pre-drawing on this. So the way I start these paintings is I start with the sky, obviously, and I want to drop in yellow because I really want that bright sky. And then with the foliage that's in front of it, I make that orange, right, as though it's backlit. And then this is going to be coming across the snow. Okay. When you have the sky lit like that, then that light is going to be coming across the snow. So we very lightly, this is a blush, right? When I paint up here, this is regular painting, but when I just put a little bit of color down, that's called a blush, right? And then down here is for my river, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start demonstrate how to paint the sky and then have you all do this. We've done this before where remember the word shmoo, where we shmoo in this distance. It's a distant tree line, so you want to have it very vague, right? Because you really can't see it clearly. And the feature of our painting are going to be the trees that are in front, right? So you want these to be in the background, and it's going to be a wet into wet technique. So Tina, when I said, she's so trained now, I said her name and she said, more water, more water. So actually what I'm going to say is less water this time. But for you, don't take that literally, all right? You still need more water. Okay, so the color that I'm going to start out with is, for this one, I'm going to use my gamboge, and I am not going to pre-wet this paper, which means that I have to work quite quickly. And if you look over here, I think I'm going to move that over a little bit. I'm going to get my colors ready, which is going to include new gamboge. I'm even going to drop a little bit of lemon yellow right at the edge of that. I'm going to come in with my ultramarine blue is going to be my sky. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cerulean blue. Because really, no tube blue is going to give you a perfect color of a sky. And the color of the sky changes depending on the moisture content and where you are on the planet. Did you guys know that? Like the sky in Fort Worth, Texas is far different than the sky in Seattle, Washington. Okay, so I have quite a bit of paint. Now, one of the things that happens when people move to a big piece of paper is they must make sure that they have enough paint to paint the entire painting. If you don't have enough paint, you're going to run short and you're going to end up dry brushing and not get that smooth transition. What we're going for here, Ray, is a sky, a smooth transition in the sky. I'm not going to add clouds into this top sky, but I will add the clouds into the bottom sky. So we just want to start you out with this. Okay, so I'm coming in with my, there's the one that I had earlier. Okay. The blue was ultramarine blue and cerulean blue mixed. Okay. You'll have to kind of gauge what color you want yourself. Okay. One other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a little bit of white paint. Okay. And I'm going to throw just a little bit of white paint up into my yellow to just lighten it a little bit. White is a really useful color to use in the sky. All right, so I'm coming in about a little more than halfway up the page, okay? And I'm just going to come in with my yellow over where I want my offset over to one side, right? And painting up like this. Now you have to, as I said, you have to work quickly because I'm going to drop my blue in now, and I'm going to come down and just drop that blue in right into the yellow, but not so that you make green, right? So you don't want your blue to go too far into your yellow. I'm going to come in with a little bit of just a little bit of pink, and I'm going to drop it along the edge there. That will help you guys keeping it from getting green, okay? That's a buffer color. Okay, so if my blue comes in from the side and instead of going right into the yellow, it goes into the red, it will just make it a little bit of a darker blue, but it won't turn it green. So it's called a buffer color. Okay, so I'm just painting that in like this. This is pretty much what you want at this point. Okay. And then wet into wet, we have to come in with our distant line. All right. And I'm going to come in with some orange. And I'm schmooing those in. So you want it to be relatively dry because you already have the water on the paper where your yellow is. I'm going to come in. I just added a little bit of blue in with my orange just to dull down my my orange a little bit. Okay, so I'm schmooing straight across. Across the yellow area, I'm doing orange. And then when I get over to the side, I'm going to come in with a little bit of burnt sienna and burnt umber, the two browns. All right, and coming in like this. So I've come about half, I've started started my sky about a little more than halfway up the page. And then my distant tree line is about a third of the way up that area. I'm doing a dark line across the bottom and then vary the height. This is not just simply straight across, okay? Vary it. It's a distant tree line. In my head, it's a distant tree line anyway.
What was your orange, Judy?
My orange is the only orange you have there. I think it's called yellow orange. Okay. And I wanted to make it just a little bit brighter, so I'm just adding more. You can continue to work on this as long as it's wet. Like up here, I see that I'm starting to get a backwash there. It's still wet enough that I can come in and fix it, I think. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so this is as far as you should get today. I mean, today. That's it. Everybody go now. I mean, this is as far as you should get right now. I'm going to let everybody catch up to that. All right. And then one last thing before I let everybody catch up. Come in with your yellow and a little bit of orange. And remember that blush color? Your sun is coming from there. So just go lightly lightly like this. Just a little bit of orange. Okay. Orange, yellow. Really, really light. You don't want much because this is going to be snow. Just like that. Okay, I got to go check on Tina. She hasn't done it. Okay, I'll check back on him. Different ideas.
It's too wet. Jimmy, will you review how to do the trees?
How to do what trees?
Do the trees.
The distant trees?
Yes.
I'm running out of paper, you guys. Okay. So while this is still wet, you come in with orange that goes across your yellow. All right. So you're just putting orange with a little bit of brown across your yellow. As you go out towards the edges, you're schmooing in your browns so that it gets more brown as you go towards the edges. Your sun is right behind there. It's called backlit. So your trees are backlit. And then as you go towards the edges, it gets brown. And you shmoo it in like this. Shmooing. Shmoo, shmoo, shmoo. Is everybody done schmooing? Tina, have you schmooed yet?
I will.
I think she's cursing the schmoo. Okay. I'm going to move on because we're going to do this all over again down below. All right. So you're going to have two opportunities to do it. Okay. And this one, I'm going to make a little more green using the exact same colors and doing the exact same thing, coming in with your yellow. So this will give you an opportunity if you messed up the first one to try it again.
Yeah, you're going kind of fast, too.
The complaints from the studio audience. Oh my stars. Okay, well, I started, so I can't stop now. Okay, I'm just gonna shmoo it out and wait for y'all to catch up. Chop, 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 Alpine.
That color yellow and.
It was yellow and orange. You could also use your yellow ochre, but very, very light, right? Okay, I'm waiting. Alpine, when you get caught up, you just give me a thumbs up. Is there even anybody in LaBarge or Afton today?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Look at you guys left me with yellow in my sky. Oh, I'll do it this way. Quick eraser. Do I have a backside of something I can paint on? Let's start that again. Okay. Okay, well, Alpine is catching up. There are a few people here too, Alpine. Don't feel like I'm picking on you. Yeah, and you can actually work one into what you're supposed to do yellow first. So you can get these lines. I'm gonna get green. See if they do that. Okay, then get your yellow in there. Okay, I get it. If you put a little bit of red in, like you did right there, and then just try and shoot it up a little bit. Good, good, good. Those hoodoos, the Utah hoodoos, right?
That is.
Yeah. So, good, 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 good. See, Connie, look at Connie. Connie's like the superstar. She's done two already. Not that the rest of you aren't. Oh, Lisa too. Elisa too. What's it? Oh, and Shantae. Okay. Okay, how's Alpine doing? Any thumbs up from Alpine? What did they say? We need time to, okay, thumbs up, okay. All right, I'm gonna bring another piece of paper out to do that again. All right, we're gonna go to the bottom one. This one right here, maybe it will work. And what you're gonna do is yellow again, okay? And I think, judging from what's going on here, that everybody should attempt to drop in some red along the edges so that you don't end up with a green sky, and then come in with your blue. And the same blues are the cerulean blue and the ultramarine blue. There's a million different blues out there to make sky colors from. This is what we have in our set. Look at my yellow is attacking my blue. Okay. This, pardon me?
You're not wet on wet this morning.
I am working wet into wet, but I'm not pre-wetting the paper. The wet into wet is that I'm adding color into wet color. So my yellow should have been wet, but I had to slow down. They made me slow down here. I now have a green sky. Everybody see that? You might throw a little red in there. Okay. Okay, and then again with the tree line. Okay. Now for this tree line, I'm going to come in with a little bit more green because more evergreens than the deciduous trees that we had in the other background.
Did you say to add pink at the bottom so you don't get,
Pardon me?
say to add pink at the bottom of that yellow?
No, no, it was orange in the last painting, and in this painting, it's going to be green. Okay. So just green right across, again, varying the heights as though it's a distant tree line. And I am going to drop in a little bit of my burnt sienna along the edges. See how it darkens it and takes it out of the spotlight of the sun, the backlit sun. So I'm just dulling it down a little bit with a little burnt sienna. Okay. And then once again for your the glow that's coming down, I'm going to do this one in a river shape, right? Here's my river shape. You can do pretty much anything for a river shape. So my river is going to probably this time go across like this and off the page. Don't worry about this part too much, okay? Just get a little bit of yellow in there. And maybe a little bit of red. So just a little, you know, it's going to be the reflection. So just like this, okay? Coming in with a little bit of more burnt under on the baseline of those trees, just to give it a little more color, okay? Okay, I'm going to let everybody get caught up to this point. Those of you in the studio audience who are just a little wee bit faster, you know what to do. Just kidding. We're going to practice making trees, you guys. I hope I can find my practice trees. Oh no. There they are. I'm going to practice these trees today too. Okay, so Alpine and Afton and Labarge, I'll give me a thumbs up when you've gotten your paintings this far. I hope yours turned out better than mine. Labarge, you're rocking it. I won't make you show your paintings, don't worry. You could go there. Yeah, that's
Weird, right?
And then this cheetah water.
Yeah, that's right.
confiscated some clean water while I was out and about. Okay, just waiting for thumbs up from everybody. I'm going to go over this again, but I'm going to get people here that are ready started on this, on these pine trees. Okay. It has to be on a piece of scrap paper. So everybody should have a piece of scrap paper available. If you don't, well, I just don't know even what to do. We're screwed. Okay, I can rip up a painting. All right. Does everybody have scrap pieces of paper out there? You guys, come on. You
She
should
got hers.
be-
She has her scratch paper. She's good.
Okay. Everybody's rustling up their scrap paper now. Scrap. Connie, do you have one?
Yes.
Okay. She's been trained. Most of you have been trained. Okay. Okay. So on a piece of scrap paper, which can be, you can see how I use the backs of my paintings a lot too, right? All right. All right. Okay, well, you guys are finishing this up, and again, I'm going to repeat this once you're ready to go, but this is just a practice sheet, okay? We have pine trees. All artists make their pine trees their own unique way, okay? Mine used to be pretty rudimentary, like this, which gets the job done, right? Okay, so that's one way to do it. I just go back and forth. One person, this was a 15-year-old who taught me this. You can start with and just do X's, do your X's larger as you get towards the bottom, and then just come in. So it's adequate too, right? But what we really want to go for is something more like this, okay? Some of us have purchased these really great Meeden brushes, Meeden brushes. And they're just excellent for this because you can go into your paint. For these practice trees, all I'm using is black with some Prussian blue, which is pretty standard for how I do my trees. I might throw some green in there, right? But for right now, just doing this. So I come in, my brush is pretty wet right now. I'm drying it. And what I want is for my brush to actually look like this. Everybody see that? It's all splayed apart. Okay, this is a great brush for that because of the way it does splay out and it stays out like that. So you can just come and skitter across the page and make it like this. Woo! Okay. Okay, so like this, right? Again, splaying it out like this. You guys, however, what you have is you have these totally synthetic brushes, okay? The Simply Simmons brushes, which is a great synthetic brush, but it doesn't quite do these nifty tricks that the other brush does. I painted with this brush for years and years and years. This is how I do it with this brush. I physically hold it down here, which is why I had to really clean my hands before I came to class. Physically holding it down here, so the brush is like this, and then come in, if I can do it like this, come in and do your tree like this. The same thing, right? But you have to kind of physically hold it apart. What we're basically trying to do here is make a kind of fan brush. This is a fan brush, okay? I find the fan brush is frustrating to work with. I really prefer this way. So I'm just coming in and I'm splaying it out. And it's a triangular shape. Everybody knows what pine trees look like, right? I mean, we live around them all the time. There might be happy pine trees and there might be sad pine trees. Okay. So look at this is completely abstract, right? if someone had never seen a pine tree before, they probably wouldn't know that this is an artistic symbol of a pine tree, but that's what this is. You can see that this one works pretty adequately. It's a little more stylized, but this is the one that really pulls it off, I think. See if I can find my painting. Okay, so see how well it sits there. Okay. Now, has Alpine caught up and thumbs up all the way around? Okay, good. I'll go over the tree thing first. I don't know if everybody was watching, but once again, the more you practice this, the better you're going to get at it. There was one lady who just was really frustrated, and I told her to go home and paint 100 trees, and she went home and painted 80 trees, and she did every single one exactly the same, right? So you want to experiment. You want to find out what's going to work best for you. And it takes practice because you're wanting to paint. You're wanting to actually make something that you know, like a tree, right? But right now, what you have to do is you're drawing with your brush, which is different than painting with your brush. Okay, painting is this is a painting, all right? And now we're coming in with drawing with your brush. So starting up at the top, and then as you go further out, down towards the bottom, just going back and forth with your letting your brush do the work, splaying it out like that. Is everybody getting that out there? Are your trees looking pretty successful? Okay, we got one, it's okay. One, it's okay.
I like this little volume of this. Yeah.
It works pretty well. Now, if you want to come in with your green paint, mix it a little bit with your blue and your black to get more of a pine color, and then do a tree. Boy, one thing about these brushes, they absorb a lot of water. We've all had to change to bath towels to absorb the water. Okay, so coming down, green tree, green tree. In my world, my trees are rarely green. My skies are purple.
You notice how pink the skies didn't like it, right?
How what they've been?
Pink.
Yes. On the boat, we, of course, always said red sky at night, sailor's delight, red sky in the morning, sailor take warning. But I don't think that works in the mountains, because the weather patterns change. The ocean, they're pretty simple to understand. So there's a green tree. Okay. And of course, that's just the first step because as always, we do the big shapes first. You just kind of do a big blob and then you can come in with more detail later. I have to get my brush splayed out for you. So I'm coming in with a little bit of darker later, okay? So for right now, everybody should just practice their trees like this until they think they've got it down. There we go. So you see I have the initial lighter green and then coming in with the darker green. And remember, what are these called right here? The little spaces in between the branches? Sky holes. Sky holes. That's where your sky is going to come glowing through, right? Now, obviously, your sky holes aren't going to show way down here. That might be snow. We have snow and sky holes. But right here, when you juxtapose this on top of a, yellow sky or red sky, it's just going to absolutely glow through, and that's what you're going for. Remember, contrast creates clarity. Okay. Okay, I'm looking out there and it looks like everybody's gotten this down. So we're going to come back to our painting, all right? Look at this. We have loads of time. So I will slow down. Maybe I'll slow down. I get really excited. What can I say? All right, I've lost all my paintings. Okay, here we're going to go. We're going to go with this one first up at the top. This one. Okay. And you guys have done this before. The comment last week, more trees, right? So the color of trees are a lot of different colors. generally speaking, when we paint them, we paint them brown or gray or whatever. I think that a lot of good combinations to come up with a good tree color are making your own brown from blue and orange or from violet and yellow. Or violet even and orange. Violet and orange is probably the best combination. Uh, Violet, yeah, violet and orange. So there's my brown right there. Basically, it's a burnt umber, right? Violet and orange. Okay. Or if you just want to make this really simple, come in and do a combination of burnt umber and burnt sienna. Bring it over there. Burnt umber and burnt sienna, which is just fine. Um, and what we're going to do, this is kind of hard to explain, but you're just going to paint a bunch of straight lines, okay? That was really hard to explain. So I'm coming in and I'm just doing a straight line all the way up to the top. When you've done that straight line, so that you don't have this tree just sticking up like that, what I always do is I come down and I just smooth the bottom a little bit so that it's actually grounded into the ground a little bit more. Even though that's snow, it's going to be reflecting that brown like that. So I do a line and then I shmoo it. I might even pick it up a little bit like that. So is what you don't want is you don't want, okay, I don't have any that I don't want in there. Hang on. I know I did this wrong somewhere. Okay, well, my badly painted one has disappeared. Wait. Okay, who stole my painting? All right, well, we'll just carry on. All right. So you also want to vary how light and dark the trees are. So the trees in front, generally speaking, I'm going to make those darker. If you want to make your brown a little bit darker, you can again add violet to it. Violet and brown just makes a beautiful color. Violet and orange makes a lovely brown. And then if you just want to start with your brown, vary the width of your trees. Here I did a tree with a tumor. Hang on. Okay. I've told a few people this, that muscle memory is such that it's actually easier to paint your straight lines if you turn your page like this. Okay. Rather than trying to do this to go across like this. Again, I'm going to shmoo a little bit at the bottom. Okay. As I go into the distance, my trees are going to get a little bit lighter. Little bit lighter. And a little bit smaller. So there's a tree in the distance. As you can see even. Okay. You just want to do a bunch of lines. If you just keep going with your brush until your paint runs out, your trees will naturally get lighter as you get in the distance. Okay. Can you see how I already have a landscape coming down and just smoothing a little bit at the bottom here? The trees that go directly across your sun, what I do is I just paint these orange like this. I'll make 3. And then I come in and I just drop a little bit of a darker color at the top and at the bottom. Just to give you that glow, as though the sun is going right across here. Do you see how that works? Darker at the top and the bottom, and as it goes across the sun, it lightens up. So you can paint as many or as few as you want. I hope that yours are straighter than mine. And then you're going to want to add your branches too. So these big trees in the front, I'm not going to add branches on these, but the trees in the background, I am going to add branches to. And remember, if you need to practice your branches, come back over to your practice sheet and remember that holding the brush so that you're getting your very tip will give you that really nice branch shape. With the branches, some people are making the branches all the same length. You really need to vary it. Coming back to this one, putting branches in. For the branches too, I just paint straight across. I just painted this straight across this tree. And obviously to me, this tree is in the background. So I'm going to paint right over that just to cover up that little poobah that I just did. So your branches are going to go behind trees, in front of trees. So everybody should just continue on painting. I'm going to go check on the studio audience. They're very quiet here today. I think they've been eating too much Easter candy. So just keep painting. We're going to also put some blue shadows in here. Okay. A real quick lesson in perspective. Pick a point on your horizon. I don't have a pencil here. Oh, yes, I do. You don't have to mark your point, but say I'm going to pick a point on my horizon right here. I'm going to put a big X in the middle of my painting, all right? Well, it's not big to you guys. The X marks the spot. I'm going to say that that is my vanishing point, okay? And I'm going to come in with, I'm just going to use the same color blue that I used in the sky, but I'm going to add a little bit more cerulean to it. You want this to be pretty light. Coming from that, I come from that point, I go down to the base of my tree, and I just shoot a little shadow out from there. I come from that point down to the base of my tree and shoot the shadow out this way. From this point, the vanishing point, down to the bottom of this, and then out this way. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing it without a ruler. I'm coming from that point, and then I'm doing the vanishing point, 1 point perspective. So all my shadows are coming out from there, going in this direction, from that point down to the base, and then shooting it out with a little blue paint, right? There, shooting out. And across like that. And I'm going to shmoo it a little bit too, right? So then shmoo it, because the snow is never flat like a desktop. So I'm just shmooing it a little bit. Okay. And that's giving me a little bit of blue. Then there are places where I just drop a little bit of blue, going across my orange with blue. This again is just about the texture in the snow, giving it a little bit of shadow, make it a little more painterly. Okay.
So on our trees that we're giving little twigs to.
We're
are they
giving,
Supposed to get darker as we get to the darker branch.
what?
You know how we're giving little twigs?
Yes, yes. Wait, where are the little twigs coming up from? The branches or the little twigs on the bottom of the tree?
So are the dark ones supposed to have the darker branches?
For the big trees in front, I'm not adding any branches. The branches are all going on the little trees in the distance. Okay. I didn't finish this one here, but this is an example of. So it's the trees in the background. Because these trees up here, to me, it's like a big trunk and the branches are way up at the top and we're looking in the distance. Of course, if you want to add a big branch on here, you certainly can. Oh, too late. She already did it. Okay, I'll do one too. I make little sounds when I paint. I know it's really directing my brush. Did Bob Ross make little sounds too? Okay, here's my little happy tree. So here I added branches on in the front. It looks great. So yeah, go for it.
It's a happy tree and it's a partner. I can't remember something.
Did everybody get that about the perspective? This looks really good up on the screen. Everybody should look at their painting from here. Okay, I'm going to let people continue working on this one, and then we're going to come down and do the river on this one. I give you like 10 more minutes to continue working on this one here. There are lots of little things that you can add in here too. When it's dry, you can add little grasses popping up at the base of your tree if you want. The more detail you put in, the more finished your painting is going to be. So little grasses at the bottom of your tree like that, which we saw a lot of this winter, right? We don't normally, but some little grasses. I did little grasses here, but not very well. I was in a rush. Why? Oh, look at this. Yep. I paint everywhere. Okay. Are these tablecloths washable?
Yes, I can take them back to much them, but not like that.
Okay. Obviously, you want to be more careful about where you stick your paintings. Gonna have to put a big tree there. Bigger tree there. Okay. Okay. Back to this one. Let's set that up. This is beautiful. You think me to tell you that? Look at the light. You've got beautiful color there. Oh, okay. Oh, you.
I'll probably cut it.
Smoosh, 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 smoosh. What? You've done this 1.5 million times, haven't you?
Yes, and it's hard every time. So do I do anything with this white stuff or no?
With this, yeah, you just
I-
throw some more blue in there. And make your trees some darker and some lighter. You've got everything in here right now is mid-tone.
So I
You need
need
contrast,
These are
contrast.
medium, those are light. No?
If I put a piece of red mylar in here, it would all read the same.
Dark in those.
Yeah, you really have to go dark.
I used to with them. Someone hate them.
My trunks are too fat.
What did you say?
My trunks are too fat. My back.
Oh, it happens. Could be about 5 more minutes on this one, and then we'll go back to the bottom one.
What were the two colors we mixed to make a nice brown? Were you telling us orange and something? Orange and blue? Violet.
Orange and blue, orange and violet. You should have a violet in your paint set.
Oh, violet. Yeah, violet. I'm sure you can say that about that.
Right here. Yes. Yes. So it's
So in those white snow areas?
I can only suck them for about 3 seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
Who asked a question? Was that you, Jill? Hang on. I'm on my way. It's hard for me to sit. What did you ask?
Add a little blue to the white or leave it?
So we were doing the background a little bit above the halfway bar. So you just haven't left enough room there for the, right? So I would just leave it this one. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move to the bottom one. And we're gonna do a river, okay? I want to just as another simple perspective lesson. Do it right here. This is a zigzag, right? I don't even know if I can do it. I did it in perspective. I can't help myself. Okay. So there's, you can just have a line that's a zigzag like that. If you want to change it into a river, you've got to start thinking about the perspective of it. So how it widens out and narrows. Okay, I don't know how else to explain that. I did it very badly. So when you come down to your painting here, what I want you to do is there's a narrow, I'm going to picture that there's a narrow entranceway right here. I'm going to draw it right in. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of go over like this. Here's the bank of my river like this, and then it goes right off the page. It's a real simple line like that. All right. I would suggest that you pre-draw it if you feel a little insecure about not pre-drawing it. The second one is going to come off and go like this. So the river is coming right off of the page. Okay. Our trees are going to go over here and over here. Okay. But what we're going to do first is we're going to paint that river. And then-
Close a little bit more.
All right, now the the blue for the river it can be the exact same blue that you used for your sky, but I think you should throw a little bit of white in it. So here's my blue with a little bit of white in it. It just softens it a little bit. Oh, here's my blue with a little bit of brown in it. Don't put brown in your blue, you guys. I feel like my table's on a slant. My palette's all moving that way. See how I conveniently blame someone other than myself? Okay, so I'm coming in again with my a little bit of white, cerulean blue, and ultramarine blue, getting a bunch of water in there. I don't want my river to be really dark. I want it to be quite light. I'm coming across my yellow and my red. I'm not going to worry about turning green at this point. Now, this is where you're going to want to really get that smooth transition. How do you get a smooth transition, you guys? Water, 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 water. If you don't have enough water in there, you're going to get streaks. So you just want to come in and paint right down in between your lines like this. It's real simple. She said. She said. Okay. Now, I am going to throw some reflection down from the trees into the water. Okay, I didn't do that here, but I think we're going to give it a try. So what I would do at this point, probably, well, it was wet. If you guys are insecure about doing it, don't do it while it's wet. Okay, we can do it when it's dry too. You just don't get quite the reflection. I'm just going to come down like this and drop in my greens like this for reflection. Okay, just dropping some greens right into, I haven't painted my trees yet. I'm painting my reflection before my trees. Okay. And maybe another reflection over here. So I'm just adding a little bit of green right there. We'll come in and tidy it up later, but for now, just do this. Okay. So you've got your river in here, and then I've dropped a little bit of green in here in anticipation of building some trees along the sides. Now, this is going to be scary. Okay. Is everybody scared out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now you want to put a big pine tree in there, right? And this is going to take, again, we practice it on the piece of paper. Okay, so now you're going to actually be painting it into the painting. You're going to be adding your pine tree. Again, what I recommend you do is I recommend you come in with your black and your Prussian blue. Black and Prussian blue. Basically, what I'm asking you to make when I do black and Prussian blue is you're making indigo. Okay, kind of a blue-black. I don't know if you can see that, but when I mix the two together, you can see the blue in that black. All right. You don't ever, as much as possible, avoid using just straight black in any watercolor, right? You're going to use Payne's gray, neutral tint, there's Davies gray, and there's indigo. I'm an indigo person. I like my indigo. So this is the color that I'm going to use for my pine tree. I'm going to start with my indigo, and then I'm going to drop in this case, I'm just going to drop in some sap green just to green it up a bit. Okay, so I basically am adding three colors here. I've got sap green, black, and Prussian blue. It's going to give me my darkest green. Okay, you can add all sorts of colors to make dark green. I could have added some a burnt umber to tone it down a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with that. I'm going to paint with the same brush that I'm making you guys paint with. I can find it. Here it is. Okay. Again, splaying it out like this so that, wait, whoo, there. Okay. Coming in. You want to go really dark. Look at the contrast between the sky and that really dark, dark, dark trees. Okay. So you're going to have quite a bit of paint there, and you're going to use it quite thickly. I'm using Prussian blue, black, and sap green all mixed together to come up with a really dark green. My brush looks like this. I'm going to get rid of some of that excess water, and then I'm going to come down and I'm going to start painting my tree. Ooh, I'm so scared. Is it going to turn out? Oh, it's going back and forth. Ready to see how that works? Okay. Then I might add a second tree, a little bit bigger. You want to have a variety of sizes. This brush works so much better than that. Anyway, again, splaying it out to get those needly branches out there. And overlap them too. Okay. You could have another little small one over there that's not overlapped. You can have as many or as few trees as you want. All right. On the edge of the river, we want to add a shoreline. It took me a while to figure that out. What's shoreline? I'm sure that's That's what we're going to call it. So what I do for this is just following along here. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of, again, it's the blue. I'm just kind of painting along like this. Just get a bit of an edge, right? And smoothing it out a little bit. And you only do that like up to this point, okay? Don't do it back here. Just giving it a nice, almost always, as far as I know, I think it's going to be pretty much always at the edge of your water and your shoreline, you are going to have a darker line. Okay. And then right back here, you just want to do just a very small hint of your shoreline there, going back like that. The color that I'm using here is the same sky color with a little bit of your blue and black mixed in with it. That's all. Okay. If you want, you can come in and add, make your reflection even darker if you want. Your reflections are always darker than your object, whatever is being reflected in the water. So I just wanted to make it a little bit darker so it shows up a little bit more. Okay, now this is a little trick to making this appear like water. I've got my two reflections over like this. I just go straight across like this with clear water. Okay, it's a real simple way to give you moving water. Just a little bit right across, right through your reflection. This is very simplified. We're getting two paintings done in an hour and a half. When you're at home and working on it, you have a lot more time and you can get a lot more detail in there and work with more definitive ways to make the water flow. But we're on limited time here, and I like to get a lot done. Okay. So that's why my paintings only go so far. But and I've seen all of you do this, when you have more time, you just keep putting more and more detail in there until you get the painting finished. And how do you know when the painting is finished? When you sign your name, when you sign Ernie's name. We were just talking about that the day you didn't get it. Okay, now right now I have two sides of the painting that were white before I stuck my green finger in and put a great big, look at that, a great big fingerprint in the middle of my beautiful painting. I'm so bummed out.
Do we line the river the whole way? It looks like we've left some spots.
I only went part way. Okay, the lines are only going through the reflections up here. Okay, and again, we want to give some blue, get some blue in here. I've got to do that right away to cover up my poobah. Okay. And you're creating texture with your snow, so it's not all blue. See how I'm just getting a little bit of texture in there. You can even draw, oh, I did it again. I just, okay, I'm gonna lose it here. Bad things are happening over here. I'm gonna have a giggle fit here. I just know it. Look what I did. It's everywhere.
It's not on your lip. Sounds good.
The moral of the story is be neater. Oh, okay. I may have to leave the room. This is a disaster. Okay. It's that brown. It's that brown right there. Oh my gosh.
Don't touch your lip.
Okay. Where was I? Okay, I've got my trees. Okay, we're down to our last 15 minutes. As always, this is a mess, you guys. Okay, so say we have a painting that we're not real happy with. What are we gonna do, you guys?
Throw it away.
No, they all said throw it away.
Use it as your, factory.
Put snow on it.
I'm putting snow on mine, even though they're blue skies, man. This is my landscape, blue skies and snow, okay? And you guys know how to do that. So if you want to put some snow in there, just go for it. Look at, there's a hailstorm in this one. See how it adds just a little bit? I'm recalling now that I promised to teach you how to make those clouds in the background. I didn't do that. Oh, well. Okay, there's snow. Okay. Now, sometimes a little gentle snow on top of your trees works well. Sometimes you need a blizzard, okay? So if you need a blizzard, I suggest you take a toothbrush, which works really well, okay? So there's snow. Again, snow down here. Oh, Rhonda, the tablecloth is a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to start making the teacher clean the tablecloths. Okay. Add a little bit of snow there too. Okay. Now, when you get home, you can just keep working on this and adding as much as you want. Start over if you want. There were a few people out there in the studio audience who expressed some dismay at the effort we made today. Okay. Can you hear them giggling in the background? You can also put your more trees in this one too. Some of the I call them stick trees, or the leafless trees in the background will add a little bit more depth to your painting. Right? You do pretty much whatever you want to do. This is real simplistic. Yet I hope you are getting the sense of distance. This is the swamp creature from the Blue Lagoon. Here we go. Now, the other thing you can do with those trees too, there are two ways to add snow into the trees. One was splattering, which we just did, right? You can also come in and just lay a little bit of snow right on top of your branches. Some people like to do it that way. See how I'm adding some snow right on top? Now, normally watercolors, and this is especially the case when you're using white, it looks really white now. It's going to dry much duller. So if you want to get a real sparkling white, you may have to put a few layers on there, but see how nicely you can add some snow right on top of your trees. This is one way to do it. The other way to do it would be to mask off the snow, paint the tree, and then remove the mask, and you'll have white area left. But I think that this adding some snow is going to help this painting. I think, maybe.
If only mine could look like you.
And so you can already see that it's starting to dry much darker than when I first put it on there. So you're putting the white on pretty thickly. Dry brushing it on. Tina, are you okay over there? I haven't heard any sounds of agony from you in a while.
Well, I'm fine, which I just put some. Yeah. You're doing good. Look at your tree. Great, right? It's a stop. Oh, I bet you with the painting by them. It's all good. It's fun.
Here's Connie's. Look at that. Look at her river. You totally rocked that bottom one.
Never done. It's truth like.
Well, I know I sometimes bring up the Nightmare Before Christmas, but
That's it, yeah, those trees.
they're very stylized.
Yeah.
I bring that up just because he does very stylized trees, right? The very stunted.
Don't,
Okay, so you don't want me to show it?
no.
You should show it. You have paint all over your lips.
I
Or you're eating chocolate. Yes, it's gone. I mean, you saw what I did. I don't get to show it.
Why would you want to?
Well, because you painted it. I won't. It's very bright.
It is too bright.
Am I allowed to say your name? I love this. Okay, this is Stella's painting. That was my alter ego when I waited tables. Because I loved hearing people yell Stella across the dining room floor. Look at that one.
Oh, yeah.
Am I allowed to say your name?
Yes.
Elisa's painting. I still remember the Christmas card class where you were adding up the snowballs on there.
It's so fun.
You had a really good technique for getting snow into your trees.
It was fun.
I was teaching what you did after. Oh, this one's nice too. You got a little.
You should never say I know.
That's because
I totally agree. Hey, that's what the scrub is for. No, it was good in my life.
You lost some respect.
It was good either way. That's okay. Okay. I do like my green trees though.
Here's Jill. And look at, she did a great job on her trees. Really did. She lost her perspective on the river there are ways to fix that, I think all I would do is maybe bring that a little bit further back. I'm working upside down here. But I think that's well done. I really do. Good color. And that one up at the top. And then here's the lens. I love the color there. Some people, for you guys, you're not thinking over there, but when you're in a classroom situation, you're learning something for the first time, it can be kind of tough to get it. So it's all about going home and practicing what you learned and then bringing out the blizzard. Does anybody in Alpine want to show us their paintings? Don't all give up at once. Oh, there we go. Alpine. Hi, Alpine. There's Tamar. There's Wendy. Wendy's there. There's Kathy. Kathy, did you see that painting I did of you?
Where's Ellen's? Ellen's right there.
Okay, there's Ellen.
She's still working as she's walking.
Oh,
Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. That's fun.
Love is that fun.
We're all clapping for you, Ellen. Oh. She gonna show us more? She's teaching. She's teaching. Thank you, Kathy. Look at that bright, happy painting. That is a happy, happy painting. Come forward and show us closer. Stand up, Kathy. Walk across the room.
Should show another picture.
Show it to us.
Give us a big smile.
Oh.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Up, over to the other, left, right, back there, right there. All right, stop. Perfect. I love your river on the bottom one.
That's really pretty.
You got that really well. I'm clapping for you, Kathy. He was saying, I love this painting. I'm having so much fun. Anybody else there? Tamar? Oh, look at, oh, beautiful. I love the color. Oh, I love the color of the, she used cerulean blue. It's really up, 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 up. There you go. Yay! Very good. That's going to be one you can frame.
No, she's
saying, no, no, no. All right, maybe next week's one. Okay, Ellen's over there working on something. All right, anybody else? How about Afton? Oh, wait, we have one more. We have one more coming. Is she coming up? All right, good, 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 good. I was hoping you would show yours. Look at that.
this way, turn.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Up.
Turn up now.
There we go. Yay. All right.
That's good.
Oh, very good. I like that. Bright, sunny, happy paintings. Okay, how about Afton? We have like 1 minute left. Okay, we're back on me, right? Okay, all right, so remember, next week, we're going to do a bigger version of this. So you've had practice now, right? So if you take your stuff home and you can practice a little bit more, not that I'm saying you didn't do great today, but next week, we're gonna do a whole painting. You'll have your choice of whether you want to do this one, the one with the just regular trunky branchy trees. And if you like, I will also demonstrate this one if you are just in the mood for green, which I like the green too, and plus adding a person into your painting. Okay. And just one more reminder that the sign up for my last grant class is on Monday. Okay. And also reminder that there's a painting group that's getting together on all Mondays now.
This week it's at 2 and normally it's at 1.
Okay, normally at 1, they're meeting here in this community room at the Thane Library for a painting get together. I heard it was lots of fun last week. My class is going from 10 to 12, and then she said next week it's going to be at 2, but normally it's at 1. Okay. So we will see you all next week. Thank you again for persevering.
Thank you. Good.